This is Colin from HustlePaintball.com. Today's topic, all about remote coils. You may have heard them called remote lines or coiled remotes. Either way, they're going to help you out. What exactly do they do for you? Well, some would look at them as an extension cord for your tank. Basically, it's going to give you the opportunity to put your tank either on a harness or a belt somewhere away from the gun. Makes your gun lighter, which is great on the field. And, overall, it's just going to keep your tank upright, which stops CO2, liquid CO2 that is, from getting into your gun. One suggestion, if you do use a remote coil, you may want to use a stock. Some people play without them. Personally, I like to have that stock on there to steady my shot. So let's take a closer look at what these are going to do for you. Check this out, guys. Here we are with a closer view at a remote coil. Now here at Hustle Paintball, we don't carry the most basic remote coil that's on the market. This is about as basic as we're going to get. However, if you were to get one of the most basic ones, you're going to see a few things. It won't have an on-off valve. It won't have a quick disconnect. It's basically just going to be a tube that goes from your tank to your gun. So what we have here is what I said is our most basic here at Hustle Paintball. This one has a few components to it. Number one, we have our on-off valve. This screws open to shut off the air going into the hose. This is great. It saves the O-rings on your tank because you don't have that quick rush of air rushing by them every time you unscrew your tank. And it's just going to be a nice and easy way when you're done playing or when you're starting your game to get that tank on and off. The next item we're going to look at is the quick disconnect. This is a great feature, and you can see it's similar to a pneumatic air tool hose. It has one major difference, however. Unlike a pneumatic air tool hose, this is not going to stop the air rushing through the hose when you disconnect it. What that means is you're probably not even going to be able to disconnect it when the line is charged. With 800 pounds of pressure on this thing, it's not going to want to move. If you were able to get it open, it'd probably be pretty painful as the hose would whip around. So my recommendation, don't try. In order to use this, what you're going to want to do is turn your on-off valve to stop the air running into the hose, decharge the line by shooting the remaining air through your gun, and then go ahead and release the quick disconnect. Now these are great anytime you want to set your gun down without taking off your harness or vest. And for those of you who wear a tactical vest, you know those things don't come off easily. So be sure to utilize this feature. I'm going to show you guys another feature that you'll find on a remote coil. This remote coil is fitted with a slide check valve. Let me show you in closer detail. This is a barrel valve that stops the flow of air from your hose into your gun. In this position, air is free to flow through. When you slide it down, it stops the air and releases the pressure, which is great for that quick disconnect. One downside to the slide check valve is that it seems to go through O-rings fairly quickly. You may have to replace them quite a bit, but really, for the convenience of being able to use that quick disconnect, in my opinion, it's worth it. Let's look at one other feature. This final remote coil we're going to look at is fitted with a gauge. Now, gauges are great in most cases. This one, however, is only going to measure the output of your tank. If that's something that you understand and you want to use, great, go for it. Alright guys, I want to get this gun aired up and show you how all this works. First of all, the ASA adapter. You can see it has a standard tank O-ring on there. It's important to keep these on hand as those may go out from time to time. Next, you have the quick disconnect. There's an O-ring in the female end of this, and the slide check valve, which we touched on earlier. Those O-rings may go out more frequently than the others. It's important to contact your manufacturer to make sure you have the right O-ring for these two valves. So, to get the gun aired up, connect the quick disconnect, turn on the air, and just that quick, we're ready to play. You can see that disconnecting the air is just as quick. With the slide check, all you do is slide this back, no air in the gun. To start playing again, slide the slide check forward, you're good to go. Alright, let's wrap this up. Alright guys, to wrap up the video today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take some questions from you, our viewers. So, to start out, Brian in Houston asks, can I put my CO2 tank upside down in my harness when using my remote coil? Well, Brian, I wouldn't recommend it. The problem is, when you turn your tank upside down, you're going to get liquid CO2 into the hose, which will then end up in your gun. That's not good. So my recommendation is always keep your tank in the upright position. Stacy in Chicago writes, I have a 3000 psi compressed air tank. Will this remote work? Well, Stacy, yes, a remote line will work with your tank, just the same as a 4500 psi tank. The output pressure is no more than 800 pounds of pressure, and these hoses can totally handle that. So you're good to go. Next, Philip, all the way from Sweden, wants to know, will a remote work with both CO2 and compressed air? Philip, yes. As we just said to Stacy, compressed air is fine. CO2 is good as well. So either one, go ahead and use the remote coil. Zach in Pennsylvania asks, what guns will this work with? Well, Zach, any gun you can screw a CO2 or compressed air tank onto, this line is going to work with. The ASA adapter on the end of the line is the exact same threading as your tank. So if you can put your tank on there, the remote line will connect. And finally, Scott, right here in Colorado, asks, is this purchase worth the money? Well, Scott, my answer to that is yes. The remote line is going to take away 4 to 6 pounds off the weight of your gun. It's going to free you up to move around a little more. And you can get them as cheap as $20. For that value, I recommend it. So, to end, if there's anything we missed in this video, or anything that you'd like to see us review in the future, feel free to hit us up at videos@hustlepaintball.com. And as always, you can find all your paintball gear at hustlepaintball.com online. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.